I just washed it. Yep, I knew she was going to do that. Don't tear it out. Oh, Lily, I wish I could sew. I can't sew, but I would sew that back up. I think it's time for a new one because you definitely are pulling it apart. And I knew you were going to do that. What's in it? I think it's just one of those big old stringy things. We'll watch. So I was going to talk about Lily's surgery and why we were gone for so long. So after the last video I posted a long time ago, things just got so busy. You know, I had a different job and I have the same job I do now, but just a lot of things started happening. And one of those things was Lily started getting sick. She just started having a ton of allergies, skin issues, a bad odor that I kept getting treated as it was a gland issue. Like she needed her glands secreted and, you know, her bottom gland. And every time that the doctor would do it, or the girl that would come by to do her nails would do it, which she needs her hip nails done again. She is a vet tech and she makes house calls in this area where I live. And every single time that she would come, she would do it. And there just wasn't much to secrete, not to be disgusting, but if you're a dog lover, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so the odor just kept getting worse and worse and worse to the point of it being unbearable. Honestly, it was just unbearable. It was so foul, and it's not her fault. And this was like a battle. I mean, she was leaking back there, which again, it was thought to be her bottom, her anal gland. And you could tell she didn't have a fever or anything like that. She nothing was normal with her back there. And it was, you know, not to be graphic, but it was just not, oh, it does have a big string in it. Okay, so I guess that's a cord that's in it. That's why it's so stiff then. I think that's pretty safe. Let's watch it. We watch that, Lily. You're so smart. But anyways, she's a princess. So this was just getting messy. And it was to the point of everything had the same odor. It was, you know, it was a constant work. And still at this point, we're still thinking it's her anal glands. And it's, you know, it's just on everything. And it's constantly, everything has to be washed all the time. I'm trying to keep her bedding clean. I'm trying to keep the sofa covers clean. You know, I'm having to cover everything. She can't ride in the car. It's just everywhere. And I didn't know what it was. So to the point of taking her to the vet and them saying that it was her anal glands, us going back and them realizing, well, I guess that's not exactly how it happened. How it happened was they thought it was her anal glands. They secreted them again. Then they took an even closer look back there and realized, wait a minute, this is not what that is. Her corkscrew tail, which is something that bulldogs typically have, English bulldogs and other breeds too. She was an adopter. I adopted her, so I didn't have her when she was a newborn baby. But her little corkscrew tail was cut off way too short. Now, I know that this can happen in other cases, and I'm not an expert on this, so if I'm saying something wrong and you know that I'm saying something wrong, it's just, you know, forgive me. I don't know the medical terminology or any of these words, but I'm just telling you the way I understand it and what I was told by the doctor in my own language. So her little corkscrew was cut off too short. That's what, and so because it was cut off so short, it was a pocket underneath it between her corkscrew tail and her body. And it was a deep, deep pocket that even the doctor didn't know was there until they really, like, I'd given her baths. She had been to the doctor many times. She's had surgery, you know, she was fixed. No one knew that little pocket was there. When the doctor did a deep investigation, examination, investigation, whatever, they realized that there was a pocket under there that was severely infected. She was to the point of nearly having a staph infection, and they had to get antibiotics in her quickly, and that had to be cleared up before they could even do the surgery. And we were told that they needed to remove her tail, which was part of her spine. All of these things that, I had never even heard of, didn't even know that was possible, that this could happen. And so that's where the infection was coming from, is because her tail had been cut off so short, and that pocket was there that couldn't be, her tail was, if I'm saying this correct, her corkscrew tail had turned inside her body and was growing back into her body, if you can understand that. I've never seen that happen. Of course, I've not been around this kind of stuff before, but that's what happened to her. And so it was like making a hole inside her body that shouldn't be there, kind of like an ingrown tail, if you will. So, and it didn't get caught because, even the vet didn't see it at first, because her tail was so almost cut to her body. It just, it was so small, which leaving that huge hole between her body and the tail underneath her tail, which we couldn't see visibly. So anyways, that's what happened. Brought her home, and she went on all this medication, antibiotics, steroids. The steroids made her sick. She was on some other different kinds of medications too, to control this infection. The infection had to be completely clear, or just about clear, before they would even put her under to do the surgery. We were very, very scared that we were going to lose her. Thankfully, we did not, and she ended up having the surgery. The surgery recovery was brutal for her. I didn't know, and I didn't realize that she was in all this pain, because she's such a good little girl. She didn't whine or complain. A couple times I heard her kind of scream when she was outside and she was trying to use the bathroom, and when they were squeezing her, doing her the anal gland cleaning or clearing, or whatever they call it. But it made me so sad, because I just didn't realize how much pain she was probably in, and that surgery had to be painful. If you can imagine taking your tailbone off and part of your spine. I mean, so that was a very brutal, she's listening to me. That was a brutal recovery for her. I had her in the living room on a mattress on the floor, and I slept pretty much right next to her, had to keep her in pads and kind of like a diaper type situation underneath her, and it was a lot for her. I'm sure that recovery was very painful for her, and I just watched her 24/7, night and day, stayed with her. I work from home, thankfully, so I was able to take really good care of her, because I'm home all the time with her, even though I was working. That's right, Lily. And anyway, it was a very long recovery, and now she is fully recovered, and she has zero tail. It is completely gone. I didn't think she was ever going to recover, to be honest. It was very brutal. The medicine that they put her on to recover on, she had a couple of reactions to that. She just does not do well on certain kinds of medications, I guess, just like a human could be. She just didn't do well. And so now she's fully recovered, and she's back. She definitely needs those nails cut. We cannot cut those nails. She will bite. She is not a mean doggy, and she doesn't bite or growl at us or anything like that. But you mess with those nails, and she is not the same. She is just downright nasty. And same with cleaning her wrinkles. I have to take her to the vet to get all this stuff done, because she takes like 3 people to get her to cooperate, and even then she's fighting all the way. So anyways, I just wanted to give you an update on what had happened to Lily and why she disappeared for a while. The last thing on my mind was recording her and, making videos about it. And then look at her eye. And then her recovery was so long and painful for her that, my whole focus was just on her. I just was so scared of losing her. And I was so afraid that she was going to end up being in such pain or having a staph infection. It was just 24/7, making sure that she was clean and that she was happy. So, and loved on. She's so precious. So that's it. And Lily just wanted to say goodbye. Say bye, Lily. Bye, Lily. So sweet. Can't believe that she's 8 years old. She's she turned 8 in November. So, but she's still, just look at her. She's like a puppy still. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye, Lily.